thewellnesscouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cindy O'Mara, Karen Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Karen Smith and I'm in Cusco.
I'm Kim Morrison. And are you in Cusco?
I am.
Oh, and I'm Cindy O'Mara and I'm in Cusco too, Peru.
How exciting. Everybody that's listening to today's show, we really want to preface the show with where we are. We're currently sitting in the most beautiful restaurant with gorgeous chandeliers, stunningly adorned ancient paintings, cobblestone walls, concrete floors, and millions of people around us eating dinner. So, maybe not millions, maybe 10. But we couldn't pass up the opportunity to do today's podcast with you purely because we've got somebody extraordinary that we want to share with you. We did the most amazing tour today that I think was almost life-changing for all of us, exploring the ancient ruins of Cusco and the mountains. And we've got the tour guide here with us, Julian, and we couldn't resist sharing him with you simply because he's such a wealth of knowledge, such a gentle soul, but somebody who sees life from all angles and the positive in everything. So we really wanted to share that with you guys. So please forgive any background noise. We know that this podcast might irritate some people, and we're just putting it out there. Please don't send us nasty messages because we're doing the best that we can with what we have, but we just couldn't resist sending this podcast out to you guys. So first and foremost, let's welcome Julian to the show.
Hello.
Welcome.
Good evening.
Julian, today was one of the most magical, amazing trips, and your knowledge of this area. Can you tell us, first of all, where you came from, how you got into being a travel guide, and really what is your passion behind doing the work that you do?
Actually, it all started because I ended up in the States as an exchange student. So I stayed in the States for something like 9 months, living with an American family, and I learned English. That was the objective. And when I came back, I wanted to study electronics. But when I came back from the States, my father, who had a wholesale grocery store, had lost everything. And so I needed to make some money immediately. So I decided, well, I'm going to use my English. And tourism was just starting in Cusco. So the University of Cusco was offering a course in tourism. So I went into the university and started to study tourism. At first I thought, well, maybe I'm going to do this job for something like just 1 or 2 years because my real passion was electronics. But then, as I got into tourism and I started to talk to people, I liked it, and I decided to stay. And my course that was going to be only 3 years enlarged into 5 years, and then I graduated as expert in tourism, right? And out of the 3 options that I had the option of being a hotel manager, a travel agent, or a tour guide. I decided to be a tour guide.
I have to say, it would be criminal for you to be hidden behind electronics because you're so naturally patient, very patient, very, very patient. But you're a people person. You're just, you're delicious to be around. It would be tragic to have lost you to electronics, I think.
Well, actually, yes. I didn't know about that about me. It's just that probably I liked and I still like electronics.
Yeah.
It's just because you focus your mind into something, and it's all these little details out there. So it's a way of relaxing.
So it's meditative almost.
That's it. I mean, you go into different world. I mean, like into different worlds while you're putting this thing here and the other thing there, right? So probably that was the idea. And maybe what I really liked is just, as you say, to meditate or to just be focused on something little like that and not think about anything else.
Absolutely.
But then on the other hand, I mean, like after you do that, probably I needed to talk to people, and it was perfect. I mean, like tourism was perfect because you get to talk to people, and I don't know, you share all your ideas. Sometimes they like your ideas, sometimes they don't. But on the other hand, also you exchange ideas with people. And as I was telling some of you, sometimes I learn more from you than you can learn from me. Well, probably not about the ruins or anything else, but about the way people look at the world. That's not necessarily my way, but just by comparison, I learn more.
What do you see when you see the way that people look at the world? Because you would be across so many people each week. What do you see when you say that?
It's like, for instance, I mean, sometimes when I was a little bit younger, I wanted to go back to the States because I thought it was going to be my life different, or I wanted to go to Europe because I thought my life was going to be different. And I went back to the States, and I've been to some other places. And what happens is that you realize that no matter where you are, it's just you. And you have to accommodate yourself to the circumstances. And what happens all the time is that it's always you, no matter where you are. So I could be successful here, and I could be successful out there, or I could be a failure here, and I could be a failure out there, and it's not your surroundings, it's you. And you realize about that just by looking at people. I mean, you talk to people, and you realize that no matter where they come from, it's always the same thing. It's you, it's not the circumstances, it's not where you were born, it's how you feel about everything. And well, that's something that probably that's one of the reasons why sometimes I don't want to travel that much anymore, because I always find the same thing, and I might as well just stay here, and I've got enough here. I got everything I want here. It's I don't know, like I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
We really understand what you
Definitely.
mean.
Yeah, definitely. So, like you've had us as a group, so you've got the Awaken the Change up for a chat group that you've been with for the last couple of days. And at times I know it's like herding cats. We do get that. But I'd love to know, in your perspective, how you see us seeing the world compared to maybe another tour group that you've taken. Can you see that?
Yes, well, there's some stereotypes. Of all these groups. I mean, like, you know that when you get a group of Americans, it's all like they need to be guided. They need to be taken care of. Okay, like as a group, they always do everything as a group, and they feel helpless if they don't have something near them to tell them what to do. Of course, that's the stereotype. It doesn't apply to everybody. That's the stereotype. As I was telling you, I mean, like when it comes to English, they come and they are more independent, and sometimes they hate when somebody tells them what to do, right? But then on the other hand, I mean, like they are more, since they have traveled in places like India or places in the Far East or the Middle East, then their stomachs are more used to the kind of food that we have here, so they don't get as sick as the Americans would get by eating certain foods out there. As to the Australians, right? As to the Aussies out there, I mean, like, you are more cheerful.
We are funny.
All right. Okay, you enjoy life, but at the same time, sometimes it looks like you don't take anything seriously. There are certain things that you like, and that's not going to change. I mean, you might be learning about all these things, but in the back of your mind, you get just whatever idea you get, and you go with it. It's like I don't know. It's like going through a museum out there, and you focus yourself in one thing that you like, and even though you might notice the rest, you don't care about it that much, right? But I mean, the one thing is that when you think about Aussies, as you call yourselves, is that you are more cheerful, and you're more sincere than, for instance, the Americans. I don't know if you notice, when it comes to the Americans, they love everybody from the first minute they know them, right? I love you, I like you, right? But it's just something, it's very superficial. As to the British, they never say anything. They keep everything to themselves. As to you, you are more sincere to that extent. I mean, like, if you hate somebody, I mean, you don't say anything. Or if you like something, you say it. And in general, you're more cheerful, and you look more juvenile, I could say that word.
I like you more every minute that you're speaking.
Yeah.
Oh, I love to be called juvenile at 46. That's awesome.
I don't want
The
to say
way
about
she fell down the stairs twice today, she looked quite juvenile.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Julian, can I ask you a question? You were born and bred here?
Yes, I was born in Cusco, and I was raised here. And only when I was 17, I went to the States. So I stayed there in the 70s, actually 69, 70, and probably that changed my personality a lot, because I entered the States after the Woodstock.
Of course. Woodstock.
And everything in the States was peace and love and everything, right?
Peace, love, and mung beans.
And that's right.
Yeah.
And I was coming from a traditional Cusco, very Catholic out there. If you wanted to kiss a girl then, you had to be around a girl for 6 months. And I ended up in the States, and the first thing that they do to me is, I got a blind date. I got a girl next to me, and I don't know what to do with her. Right, because it was just too much of a cultural shock out there. Right? So, I mean, that changed that. And then, of course, I mean, everything was changing because it was the hippie movement, and they were trying to break all the regulations that they had there, or the way they were thinking. So it was something like, it was a total cultural shock for me.
So did it convert you to a hippie?
It was, well, no.
It just loosened you up a little bit.
What happened is, actually, I thought I saw everything natural, because, I mean, you're 17, you just accept it, right? Oh, maybe it must be like that. But I realized I had changed a lot when I came back here. I just couldn't fit anywhere, because my friends wouldn't understand me. The girls that I knew just thought that I was totally mad, because we'd come with all these ideas. I mean, like, it was not something like free sex, but my ideas about sex, just because I had been in the States during the 70s, it was totally different. So for quite a while, also, it helped. That was another reasons probably I ended up in tourism, because I could talk with tourists that really understood what I was talking about, but not in my community. So little by little, I understood the whole thing, and I could see both sides of it, and I would play with them, right? So I would play with them. Yeah, and I still up to the moment. I mean, I just kind of know exactly what each person thinks in my community, because I know exactly how they were raised and how they feel about different things and so on.
So let's talk about
Cusco.
Cusco.
Yeah, I want to hear about Cusco. Tell us about Cusco. You're born and raised here. So many people listening to this may never get to Machu Picchu, let alone Cusco.
Yeah.
So how would you describe this area, and why is it so spiritual, and how come tourism has so increased?
Well, actually, I mean, like, the great magnet in Cusco is Machu Picchu, right? So Machu Picchu, it's been advertised all over the world. So people come over here because of Machu Picchu. And once they come from Machu Picchu, then they learn about Cusco and they learn about Peru, right? And of course, one thing that you also learn is that Machu Picchu is in the middle of the Andes Mountains. And probably that's the first shock that you get. I mean, like, you come to the Andes Mountains, and before it used to be the Himalayas, but right now it's the Andes Mountains.
Yes.
It's said that all this power has shifted from the Himalayas to the Andes Mountains. So you feel it. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, sometimes we don't feel it anymore because, I mean, like, the fish is the last one to know that's living in the water.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So if you come from abroad, then you feel it. And you know it's something there. It's something there. And of course, in the case of Cusco, the capital city of this empire, it's got lots of that power. I mean, probably it's one of the centers of that power out there. Because not just now, but before, in the 1400s, this was a metropolitan city. It was a cosmopolitan. What I mean is a cosmopolitan city. I had people from all over that ended up here because it had some kind of a magnetism out there. Then, of course, the Spanish arrived, and it kind of, the magnetism stayed there. But then, I mean, right now, once again, it's happening. As a matter of fact, right now, there's a popular saying that Cusco will be what it was. And it's happening. It's happening because people are coming from every part of the world. And it seems that still the magnetism is there, and it depends on you. As a matter of fact, when you come to the Andes Mountains, and I don't know if it's just Cusco, the Andes Mountains, is due to this magnetism, you got good thoughts, they get magnified, and you got bad thoughts, and they get magnified too. So when you are in Cusco, and you want to have a good time, and you are optimistic, everything goes great. But then if you come and you start thinking, maybe I'm going to get sick, maybe it's going to happen, it actually happens to you. I mean, it's something about that. Then about Cusco itself, I mean, like me, for instance, I mean, I'm in tune with the mountains. So whenever I leave this place, I don't know if it's Cusco or the mountains, I always feel that I got to come back. I got to come back to the mountains. But it seems that there's some kind of a magnetism here, and only after it started in the 1950s or so, when everything is changing and Cusco is becoming something more than just being a little town in the Andes Mountains, and when there's something like an Indian emergence again. Then all these rituals, traditions, real traditions, well, the indigenous people are coming back again, like all these rituals to Mother Earth, like worshiping the mountains, like worshiping the rivers, and really believing in your heart that the earth is alive, and that you have to listen to it, right? So since it's there, it's been growing and growing and growing, and people, mystic people or people that have that sensibility, is feeling it, and they're coming over here and they feel great, and they come back over here because they feel great, and I think that's one of the reasons. Even though, I mean, like, of course, the big magnet is Machu Picchu, right?
Do you have that same sense of connection to worshipping the mountains and worshipping the earth and worshipping the lakes? Do you feel that as somebody who was born and bred here?
I got some connections with some mountains. It's like having your favorite patron saint.
Right.
So, like in the case of Machu Picchu, for instance, Machu Picchu once I was sick of something. And I went to a healer, a shaman, and she told me that I should go to Machu Picchu just because of that. That mountain knew me. So I made an offering to Machu Picchu, specifically in Machu Picchu. And after that, it was all right. I mean, I got a ride. Everything started to go pretty well. And right now, every time I go to Machu Picchu, I feel all right. Everything goes all right. I mean, if it's going to rain, I just say, please don't rain for half an hour because I need the half an hour. And it usually happens. So I feel secure, right? Or there's some mountains. My parents were born in Urubamba, the town. And from a very early age, I used to go to Urubamba. And that mountain, Chicon, I get a good connection with that mountain too.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I mean, actually, like you don't feel. You feel that there's something more beyond this world. I mean, there's something more. There's some other things out there, and of course, I mean that keeps you quiet. I mean, like you. And probably also, I mean, that comes with the age too, right? Because when you're younger, you're thinking about other things and not necessarily.
But I think the gold in what you've just said there is that you find it in Machu Picchu or you find it in a connection to a mountain, but ultimately what you find is that there is more beyond this. And even just the words that you use, it keeps you quiet. It really, like, what I get from that is that it makes a person recognize that this is not it. All of the hustle, all of the stuff that goes on in a day-to-day life, this is not all that there is. That there is more. And if a person can find connection to that in whichever way, and here we are in Cusco and here we are heading towards Machu Picchu, and that's a way.
Yeah, and of course, I mean,
it brings peace.
Whenever a guide, I put some passion to it because I want you to understand that what you're looking at is the product of a people that believe in something else.
Yeah.
It's not just the walls you're looking at.
That's right.
It's what they left behind, just to tell you that there is that. I don't know. I mean, like they created something out there, and not because it's just that they found a connection with these lands out here, and even though they might have all these concrete and kill people and massacre people or whatever, but still, I mean, you look at a place like Moray that we saw today, all those circles out there, that a modern society that believes in practicality per se, it makes no sense. I mean, it's these people that they might have done all these things like all humans did all over the world, but at the same time they stopped a minute to worship the earth and to let you know that there's something that you should give the whole of you for something that's beyond, for something that's greater than you, right there. Right?
One of the things that you spoke about today, and I'd love you to speak about it again, is that the culture. I love cultures and traditions, and I think your culture has remained in its traditions.
Right.
And especially the bringing up of children and the conversation we had around, a child and how a child is brought up in this community and just how everybody helps everyone. Could you address that, please?
Yeah, that's why, when the Spanish arrived here, they introduced the nuclear family because it was easy for them to control the family of parents and children. It's much easier. Even at present, if you come to think of it, it's much easier for the governments to control just one family, father and mother and children out there. So it said that in the Andes Mountains, whenever central governments try to control the people, they always get together, all the families will always get together and would oppose the formation of a central state. Or at least, they try to find a way to defend themselves in a better way against a central state. And that's how this Ayllu started, which is the basis of the society. And Ayllu is a kinship group that's integrated by several families related in somewhere. It could be 2 or 3 families, like it could be 50 or 100 families. That's an Ayllu. And of course, when you're born within the Ayllu, you're not born to your parents. Of course you're born to your parents. But in general terms, in the Ayllu, you're first born to the Ayllu, which means to the community, to all these families, and then you're born to your parents. And that helps in the sense that everybody feels like it's your father, or everybody feels that's your mother. As a matter of fact, as a child, you call mother to your natural mother and all the sisters of your mother, and you call father to your natural father and all the brothers of your father. So literally, you got several fathers and several mothers out there. In other words, I mean, the call of the community just takes care of you, so you feel secure there, right? And it's not that you have to have somebody after you all the time. No, it's the community. It's always looking where you are and so on, right? And as we were discussing earlier also, that helps to the extent that women can be single mothers, and there's no stigma to a single mother. I mean, nobody is going to look down look down a woman that's got a child and no father. It doesn't matter, because the child has got several fathers and several mothers out there, right? So the children feel more secure to that extent out there. Of course, I mean, like in my case, I was born in Cusco, so I was born to a family. I was not born in a community. But of course, I mean, to some extent, still, I mean, like it's in the back of our mind. So if in my neighborhood, probably all the friends of my father and the friends of my mother who knew who I was, and they were always looking where I was or whatever, like it happens all over, right? But nothing that formal there. But in the communities, yes, it is a formal thing. I mean, you take care of the kids.
What happens when you meet someone? What about the teenagers? Like, how are they accepted?
Well, you know, there's one term for that, and it's sirvinacui, which is translated into Spanish. It means trial marriage. Trial marriage. And all the communities believe in trial marriage, which means that it's logic, and say, once you go ahead, try it, and if you like it, you stay. If you don't like it, you leave it. So the kids, it's nothing like free love. It's just that the kids are free to look for partners, be a girl or be a boy, and not necessarily that they have to marry this girl to marry this boy. They can try several times, and then once they decide, that's it. I mean, they stay with that partner for the rest of their lives. Well, most of the time, right? So that's the way it goes. And I think it makes more sense than in our Catholic society at present, because you're forced to get married. As to the Catholic Church, there's no divorce out there. And then on the other hand, because of the Catholic Church, sometimes it's a bad thing if you divorce your wife or your husband, and there's some kind of a stigma, and then getting a divorce, they make it real hard for you to get a divorce in this society. And you got these people, men and women, living with different partners, but legally, I mean, they can't start a business, they can start nothing, because legally your first wife or your first husband owns everything, right? I suppose it's the same all over, kind of, right? But out in the communities, at least they let you try, and if you made a mistake, well, you know, I mean, you had your chance. Sometimes here in this society, there's no chance. So I think it makes more sense, I mean, out there. So the boys and girls, they try several times, and after a while, I mean, like, they pick up the right guy or the right girl, they get married, that's it. And if they got some children, well, they absorb the children into their family with other man or other woman, or simply the children will go with the father or with the mother. But I mean, there's no problem, because the children belong to the community, not necessarily to the mother or the father out there, right? And they know about that. So.
Is there much delinquency?
Well, it depends. I mean, you would have to define that. Like here in Cusco, for instance, basically what you know as crime is just stealing or fighting to the extent that you can really hurt somebody out there. As to killing, it doesn't happen. That's just about petty crimes out there, petty crimes, compared to other cities. I mean, like if you go to Lima, I mean, they can kill you for just a cell phone right there. But here in Cusco, no, we haven't come to that point yet. I mean, as I was telling you before, the great problem that we got here in Cusco is alcoholism. Kids start at a very early age. I mean, you got 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds getting drunk out there. They try to control it, but still, it's very hard. And sometimes, I mean, these kids, they go and try to steal, or they hit somebody, or they take some kind of a drug and they end up in jail. But apart from that, that's it, right?
And I loved how you said that if they're happy, they drink, and if they're sad, they drink. That's their answer.
That's right, yeah. It is right.
Because I asked you, and I was absolutely floored by your answer, but I asked you about what's this, the suicide rate here, because where we live, the suicide rate's terrible. People are not happy and they kill themselves.
Yeah. Well, here, no. I don't know if it's our Catholic tradition, because I mean, like I said, the Catholic tradition, you kill yourself and you go into a limbo.
Limbo, yeah.
Right. I mean, and you gotta wait all these thousands of years until you're allowed to go either in hell or in heaven. Right there. I don't know. It's part of it, but I don't think so. I mean, most of the time, I mean, like. You can always talk to your friends. You can always talk to your family. And most of the time you get your problem solved. The worst thing that can happen to you is just you go into drinking and you become an alcoholic, or simply, I mean, you become a drug addict. But even so, I mean, like, even though, as I was telling you, I mean, you can get cocaine here, relatively speaking, in this way, but you don't really care about drugs, right? It's drinking. It's really drinking, right? The problem that we got here, right?
Can we talk about food? We've not talked about food, so can we talk about what's the traditional food that you eat?
Well, our traditional food is basically any food that contains potatoes, our staple crops, potatoes, corn, beans, and so on, right there. And of course, I mean, like guinea pig for animal protein out there, and some alpaca out there, right? That was in Inca times. Before, up until something like 30 years ago, it was illegal to sell alpaca meat here. Now it's legal right there, right? But in Inca times, basically, it was guinea pig, alpaca. Llama is too tough, and then potatoes and all those vegetables out there. And it's still, I mean, like you go up in the mountain and you can have just potato and with some sauces there, hot sauces that you try some of them, and it's great. But right now, the traditional kind of food in Cusco is got pork in it. As I was telling you, like in that town, one dish that's very popular is chicharrones, which is pieces of pork deep fried and served with potatoes and corn. And another thing, another dish that's kind of popular here is what you call kapchi, and it's got beans, it's got potatoes, it's got milk, it's got cheese right there, and it's got rice. Yes, I mean, rice have been introduced in our diet, and incredibly enough, sometimes it replaces potatoes because the imported rice is less expensive than the potatoes we produce here. So that's it. But it's basically vegetables that we have here as traditional food.
I think your cuisine is absolutely beautiful. I love the taste of it. It's got some freshness about it, and you have lots of side. Chimichurri. I'm loving the chimichurri. We tried that yesterday, and today there were all these different sauces that we had at lunch. Yes. And then I tried the fermented corn. What's that called?
Chicha.
Chicha. Right. Chicha. How do you make that?
Well, what you have to do is, you mold the corn, which means that it sprouts.
Oh, okay.
And once it's sprouted, then you grind it, and then you boil it. You boil it for something like 2-3 hours, and you let it ferment for something like 3 days. So once it's fermented, it becomes alcoholic, and that's what it is. That's chicha.
Oh, it's alcoholic. I didn't notice that. Well, I had a couple of drinks.
Well, but of course, I mean, I don't know what kind of chicha you had there. if it was chicha out of maize, then it should be alcoholic. But sometimes they make chicha out of quinoa also, and it's not alcoholic. It's sweet. Was it sweet?
Very sweet.
Oh, then it's not. It was not, because the real chicha is it's kind of acid. It's got this alcoholic taste to it.
Oh no, this was very sweet and a light pink color.
Oh no. Well, yeah, you got the maize chicha, but with the strawberry in it, and that's usually made for ladies.
Well, I loved it.
Well, you shouldn't have drunk it.
But then that one is alcoholic. What happens is that the strawberry kind of masks the alcohol. It's like the pisco sour.
Yes.
I mean, like...
Let's talk about that, shall we?
Yeah.
A few of our team have had quite a few of those.
That's right.
Can you tell us what that's made from a grape, right?
Yes, it's pisco. Pisco is made out of grape. And pisco is 40% proof.
Yes, very strong.
So it's
we all
strong...
had it at lunch the other day, and we all thought it was just like a lemon drink.
Right, and then
so
after
we
you feel
watched everybody falling off the floor and, snogging each other. No, they weren't. But it was the grape. And is that grape grown local?
No, it's grown on the coast because this is too high for grapes. Even though we could grow grapes in the jungle area, and in some areas like Urubamba, for instance, we could grow grapes. But when the Spanish arrived here, there were two things that they considered just as Spanish, and no Indian should get hold of them. The first thing was horses, and the other thing was grapes. So all the vineyards just along the coast. And right now, at present, the pisco is produced all along the coast out there. Nothing in our jungle area, no grapevines in the Andes right there. But it's pisco. It's out of grapes. Yes.
Yeah. So it was I found out the recipe. Tell me if I'm right. 1 ounce of pisco.
Right.
3 ounces of lemon. 1 ounce of
Actually,
sugar.
it's lime juice.
Lime juice, or she said lemon or lime juice, and then sugar syrup.
Right.
Blended together with egg white.
That's right.
And then a drop of Angus bitters on the top.
Right, and then some ice cubes if you want it. Yes.
So
you all blend it, and
it was a bit like tequila, kind of a little bit of a tequila.
Yes,
kind of
but
taste.
it's stronger than tequila.
Yeah.
Most of the time
know.
we usually have. I mean, like all the macho Mexicans, they always come over here and say tequila is harder than pisco, so we give in two pisco sours in a row, and then afterwards they don't even know what they're talking about.
It just takes 2.
Right, but it depends how big they are. Yeah, usually they're like, that's enough. 2 of those ones, I mean, you're drunk.
Yeah, I had to go to
Well,
bed.
at least
So that's
you-
like a
you're kind of
highball,
tipsy.
a highball glass to us.
Yeah.
So 2 highballs and you'd be drunk.
You'd be gone.
It was pretty amazing, though. And what I've loved also here is, can you tell us a little bit about the Inca people? Because that's something that a lot of us that travel here are very interested in from a ancient traditional viewpoint. But you were saying that there's no true Incas maybe anymore.
Yes, there's no true Incas anymore. Like, I mean, when you say true Incas, probably what you mean is people that have 100% Inca blood.
Yes.
But we got no 100% Inca people anymore. The last tribe of 100% Inca people was found in the 1950s. It was a community that had survived the modern world, and it was found by these anthropologists. But of course, I mean, after this anthropologist spread the news that he had found this community, it's the Quero community. I mean, everybody went out there, anthropologists, archaeologists, and those guys right now are more Western than anybody else. But at least, I mean, at first they got all that information about that. Different from the States, when the Spanish entered here, instead of eliminating the population, they mixed with the population, which means the Spanish mixed with the Indian population, and they created a new race, a mestizo race, mixed people out there. So we are all mixed. The 99% of the population in Peru is mixed. There's just 1% white population in Lima, that's it. But the rest of the population is mixed. In the Andes, we got Indian blood and Spanish blood. Along the coast, they got Indian blood, Spanish blood, and black blood, because the Spanish would bring some black slaves with them right there. in the Andes we don't have any black blood because black people can't stand the cold. And if you in Cusco, you haven't seen any black people, no.
No. Isn't amazing?
So in the Andes, we got only Inca blood and Spanish blood. And the more Spanish blood you got, the more white Western features you got. And what you call, or what you see and you think it's pure Inca, it's actually people that have got a higher percentage of Inca blood. Let's say something like 70-80% Inca blood, and you can notice immediately. I mean, like the color of the skin, and you look at the eyes, and there's one fold that's missing, like in Asia out there, and then the what do you call this? The cheeks are very prominent out there. It's a receding forehead, and it's a round face, and always fleshy lips right there. That's the way we look out there, right? Now, there's one thing, whenever you talk about Inca, you have to be a little bit careful, because in this country, especially along the coast, they can't tell the difference between the Incas, and the people in the Andes living at present. It seems that along the coast, they don't realize that the people that you see in the streets in Cusco right now are actually direct descendants of the Incas. And sometimes, I mean, like along the coast, because they don't understand the reality in the Andes, they praise the Incas. They feel really proud about this Inca heritage that they got in this country that it's theirs because they are Peruvian. But then on the other hand, they come to the highlands and they despise and look down on these farmers that we've seen like today, because they just can't find the relation that those Incas that they praise so much are actually those guys that are farming those fields at present, right? And still, it's something. It's a contradiction that they cannot reconcile.
What do they expect that they would be doing?
Well, what happened is that they believed that the Incas were great people, very intelligent, but these guys, they are somehow, I mean, like their race degenerated, and they are ignorant, and they are dirty, and so on. And they don't understand that actually they caused it because they isolated the highlands out there and let all of these people just live on their own and exploit them. And on the other hand, they expect them to be as the Incas they read in the books out there. Right? So it's I don't know if the right word it is, but it's a dichotomy. It's a contradiction. Because you talk to people and you say, what do you think about the Incas? And they're not going to think about these guys. They're going to think about that great empire before us. Or if you look at one of these farmers and you say, what do you think about that Inca? Inca? That's not Inca. That's an Indian. It's incredible the way they react out there. But it's changing. It's changing.
You've travelled the world. You've travelled quite a while, have you?
No.
Where have you travelled? America?
I've been to America, and I've been to South America. I've never been to Europe because, I don't know, it doesn't attract me.
But you've been to America. This is what I want to ask you. So you've actually been to a country that, well, right now is going through huge change as far as the presidential election and all of that sort of thing. If there was one piece of advice that you could give to the Western world based on your upbringing and your knowledge, what do you think we need to take from a place like this? What could we take home?
Yes, honestly, yes.
Well, I mean, in the case of the Americans, I would say, just read the history books and look at the fate of all empires. It's going to happen exactly that. We've been the Inca Empire, the Indian Empire, Chinese Empire, the British Empire, the Spanish Empire. Now it's the American Empire. It's the same thing. I mean, at least, there's some truth in when you study history. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And there's nothing they can do about it. It's incredible. I mean, we read all these books about history not to make the same mistakes again, and we always keep making the same mistakes. As somebody say, when you study the history books, you're just perfecting the mistakes you're going to make.
I think that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And my mum's American, so she's from Iowa in the Midwest,
Right.
and I've been going to America since the 70s, lived there, go back every year, and I'm noticing that the heyday of the 80s, which I believe is when America was in its heydays, is far gone. And what I see now are ghost towns. I see people that just seem to be walking around blindly. Not in every place of America.
Yeah, no.
I'm just talking about what I'm seeing. And that's only been since the 70s that I'm starting to see that.
I was on the plane coming here with two Americans next to me who were coming here for the first time. They said, and these were their words, that they were genuinely afraid of what the demise of their country was about to become. And they were a young couple who had just got married. They were genuinely afraid.
Yes, I think the States is becoming like, it's going in the direction that we had here in South America. I mean, like the gap between the poor and the rich is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's because, I don't want to go into this, but I think it's because, America has become too capitalist.
Yes.
I mean, like in the 50s, the Americans became capitalist. Believed in capitalism because they believed in rewarding your work. The more you work, the more you will earn. But right now, it doesn't work anymore. I mean, it's that just through this manipulation of money as money, the richer are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer out there, and they don't want to realize about that. And and they have totally forgotten about the social part of their society. They believe that everything revolves around money, and it's eventually it's going to collapse. The society is going to collapse out there, right? Because nothing is social.
You were talking about it today, though, which I love, the comparison, and I actually felt a little bit emotional with a lot of the things you were saying today, particularly, and I know we were all having little ahas, but it was things like if someone in the community wants to build a house, the community comes together to help you build that house.
That's right.
If someone is doing their crop, they're harvesting their crops, then the community comes and they just had to provide cocoa leaves.
That's right. It's gotta be
cocoa tea and food. Do you think that also is that what you're talking about from a social point of view?
It's social. I mean, like you gotta think of everybody. As a matter of fact, in the Andean thinking, you get sick, even though, I mean, like, you might get sick of germs or whatever, but in general, people think that you get sick because there is an imbalance between you and your peers and your gods and nature. There's a connection between you and your society and the people you know, nature and the gods. If there's any kind of imbalance among those three links out there, you get sick. So you always have to take care of being good with nature, in good relation with nature, in good relation with your gods, and in good relation with your friends or your social environment out there, right? And that's why people out in the countryside sometimes they prefer a healer, a local healer, than an MD doctor. Because if you think of an MD doctor, the MD doctor comes and say, "What do you got?" "All right, you got this? Okay, just take this pill and pay me this much money." When it comes to a healer, you don't go to the healer. The healer comes to your home. The healer makes friends with you. You can pay him in labor, in kind, in guinea pigs, in chicken, whatever. And at the same time, he can cure not just your health, but he can cure your luck. He can cure your house. He can cure your animals out there. And he doesn't treat you like a number. So in spite of all these medical posts out there, still people first go to the local healer And then if the local healer can do nothing about it, then you go to the medical post. Right.
Is the local healer a shaman? Is that a shaman?
Well, I think shaman is an outside world. It's an outside word. But we usually use shaman because there's no other word in English. Well, but probably the closest one is healer. It's a healer. But there are some words in Quechua that refer to a healer, like a Paco, for instance. And you get three types of them. You get that healer, that Paco, that can fix just the physical world, like you get some problems with the bones or with your physical body. Then you get the other one that can heal your spiritual body as well as your physical body. And you got the third type of Paco that can heal, that can go beyond the spiritual world and can get in contact with the gods and show you the way to that extent. I mean, like if you got some problems of existentialism or something like that, then you got one of those guys out there. Right? It depends what you're looking for right there.
And is that different to a mystic spiritualist, which is what I saw on the door of a house as we were coming down the mountain today? I saw
I don't know what you mean,
spiritual. No, neither did I.
But actually, I mean, like these guys are practical people, and what's really great about these guys is that, like there used to be a truck driver that once a week would just do some healing for the people out there, and he would also drink a lot. And everyone would say, how come this guy, a truck driver, he doesn't have all that? Because, I mean, sometimes, I mean, like, you go through all these exercises to become spiritual, you meditate a lot. And this guy, I mean, he's a truck driver, and he drinks a lot, and just once a week. You say, well, how come? It's just because, I mean, like, in his community, they found out that he had the skill for that. And,
you mean he was chosen or he was noticed?
He was noticed. And whenever you ask him about that, he said, well, I've got to an agreement with the gods. I got the skill. I can cure people. And then the gods are always going to take care of me. There's always going to be food on my table. I'm always going to have money as long as I do that job. Once a week, I mean, people can come, and that's what everybody would do. It's once a week they would go to him, talk to him, he would just heal people and everything else. And the rest of the week, forget it. I mean, he was just a normal guy. I mean, like nothing. So sometimes you kind of think and say, like when you meditate, when you do all this exercise, you read all these books and say, you got to do this and that, and you got to protect yourself. And you get this guy, I mean, like a man in this thing, and
it doesn't
right. Do anything. I mean, he can cure people. I mean, like, yeah.
One of the things you also said today was around the role of the man and the woman, and how times are changing now, where women used to depend on their husbands for providing, and they used to be the caregiver and the cook and the healer and the nurturer. And today you were saying that a lot of the women now are starting to make more money sometimes than the men.
That's right, yeah.
Is that because of tourism?
It's because of tourism, and because there's more business. And what's really interesting is that men don't take it as hard like in modern society. I mean, like... as a matter of fact, I mean, sometimes you play roles. I'm like in the case of these guys, they play roles. In their community, they got no problem being led by a woman. But then when they come to Cusco, they change roles and they act like macho men. Because that's what this kind of society asks them to do. Right? But then when they go home, I mean, it's normal, and they take care of the children, or if they're going to do some cooking, they do some cooking. It's no
stigma.
No stigma. Yeah, no stigma to that extent. So it's
not affecting your society too much, though, with women doing that, because a lot of people would say that women's vote, the women's independence, women starting to become more, some women run countries, that it's become part of the downturn of our society. Would you say it's affecting?
Well, in the end, I don't think it's not too much.
Because you have equality, don't you? Like it's an equal society.
It's an equal society. It's an equal society. The only thing probably, I mean, that happens in the communities here, and especially when they get drunk, is that they beat the women.
They do?
Yeah, they do. I mean, like whenever they get drunk, it usually happens. Even though right now it's being controlled to some extent because it's, but sometimes what's really funny about that is out there in the countryside, women don't protest about it. I'll give you an example. I mean, like you see a man and a woman that are fighting, and probably the guy is beating the girl, and you try to intervene, or you say, "Well, what's going on here? I mean, you stop." And probably the girl is going to come to you and say, "Let him do it. He's my husband. He can do with me whatever he wants." Wow. And sometimes you just say, "What?" And it's I don't know. It's part of the tradition out there. And also, there are certain things in this society that you have to think of. I've never gone into that kind of a study, but, you know, in the Andean society, man and woman don't kiss. They don't kiss. Like it's not a common thing.
They've got the best lips.
They don't kiss. I mean, like probably
lips.
They don't kiss like in the Western society. And sometimes, I mean, you show that you care about something by hitting him. I mean, like sometimes in the case of a man, you would just go and try it gently. In the case of a woman, probably she's going to go you. He's going to punch you. And if you misunderstand it, then you might think that she's being aggressive with you, but she's just trying to show you that she's got some interest in you.
Do you know, that's so funny.
I love it.
I remember when we were kids, that's how kids show affection to each other in the very beginning, is there's that pushing and shoving, and it's just an opportunity to actually touch the other person.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to knock them out, but
No,
it's
no,
like,
no.
you know, you don't want to take them out. But it's like, it's just a chance to be able to touch and show that, oh, that's fascinating. That's almost innate. That's almost instinctive.
It is.
Yeah, it is, right. Of course, I mean, you gotta be used to it, because otherwise, because if you're not used to it and you haven't born in that kind of society, then you might give a harder punch than
I
everybody
was
else.
just about to say, do they punch back?
Yeah, well, you got to know exactly how far to
Cook
go.
the man a guinea pig.
Because I think I would. I think I'd hit back.
And also, I mean, there are some dances, for instance, there are some mating dances that date back from Inca times, in which men and women are dancing, right? And first, the men, they dance among themselves, and they got to show the girls that they can stand pain in a stoic, what do you call it?
Yeah, stoic.
Stoic.
Yep.
So these guys dance one against the other, and they got some whips, and they whip their calves real hard for quite a while. Right? Sometimes they get some blood out of it. Right? It's just showing the girls how tough they are. Then after that, they start dancing with the girls, and if you like a girl, you gotta be strong enough. If you want that girl, you gotta be strong enough to lift the girl, get her onto your shoulder, and take it home. If you're strong enough to do that, then you are man enough for that girl.
Worthy.
And of course, I mean, like sometimes the girls, I mean, they help you in every way because they also like you. But sometimes it's a real struggle. I mean, like maybe that girl doesn't like you, and you're forcing that girl, but it's part of the society. If that man shows that he's strong enough to get you on to his shoulder, then you're done. I mean, it's
Really? That's it? You got no say?
yeah.
Why? Really?
It's because probably in the back of your mind, in this society, you believe that a strong man is the right man.
Okay, so then it comes back to that whole mating thing. You know, we're always attracted to a man that we think, not like innately, and we're not really aware that that's what's going on, but we're always attracted to a man that we think we would have great babies with.
Right.
Because of their makeup, and that we kind of have that innate sense about the people that we choose in society.
That's right. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
right, that
yeah,
makes
it's like,
sense too.
it's like in the case of women, I suppose, I mean, you have to have certain
Curves in the
certain
right
curves,
places.
right? Because it's going to be the right.
Baby making thing.
That's right.
I'm hearing you.
So
Okay, so I mean that's a society, and then when you live here, when you live here, when you go to a market like the market we've been yesterday, or when you come to a place like this, I mean, like you got all these mestizos, all these Cusqueñan people that are entering this modern society, you have to understand exactly how they act and how they react, because you cannot act the same way. I mean, like this guy expects you to be all clean, polished shoes or whatever, and he doesn't even know why, but I mean, that's what he expects. But you go to the market and you cannot just criticize that woman right there because she's dirty or because she's wearing a different kind, because you can understand that she comes from a different society in which the floor of her home is dirt and probably she sleeps on the ground. And it doesn't mean to be dirty, it's just that it's her own way of life. So it's here, more than any other place, it's pretty dangerous to judge people. But it's funny, I mean, like when you have the knowledge, and you gotta have some anthropological knowledge about it. It's really great. I mean, like you look at all the people and how they react, and sometimes they don't even know that you're studying them, and they don't even know, and you know how they're going to react, right?
Yeah.
It's really great. But at the same time, I mean, at first, like me, as I was growing, I couldn't understand why people reacted with me in this way or the other way. It's just because they had categorized me in one niche right there. And, of course, I was supposed to act like they had categorized me. And then I started to understand why they reacted this way and that way. And eventually, I mean, I learned how to manipulate that.
Julian, I think you need to be Prime Minister. I think you should be the next Prime Minister of this country.
No, I'm going to lead a quiet life. The rest of my life, right?
I understand. You have a feeling to me a little bit, and please don't take this in the wrong way, but you have a Nelson Mandela kind of an amazing energy and philosophy. And
in the case of Peru, whenever it comes to that point, you usually end up in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, they categorize you as a terrorist or whatever.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean,
you just forget about it. Right?
But you have such a beautiful outlook.
A little bit mischievous.
Yes, a bit naughty, I would say. That's probably why we liked you. I'm sure you enjoyed the liberation of the 70s and 80s in America, put it that way. If we're coming to the end of this beautiful podcast, and if there was one thing that you've learnt, or a couple of things, or something that you have learnt, that if you could bestow on every person that you get to enjoy as part of your guidance and the amazing knowledge that you bestow on all of us about your area, if there was one thing that you wished every single human, regardless of background, race, their upbringing or anything, that we could all go home with, what would be your philosophy on that?
Say, probably, just don't judge nobody.
That's so good. That's so true.
Yeah.
Actually, we'd be a much kinder society if we didn't do that.
Yeah. You learn that when you judge somebody, eventually somebody's going to judge you. And you just fall into your own trap. And that's it. So
it's so true.
Not judge
so
nobody.
true.
You just accept everybody the way they are. If you like it, okay. If you don't like it, it's okay too. I mean, like, as long as you don't get involved, it's all right. I mean, like.
Julian, you have been an absolute gem to interview. Thank you so much for what you have shared with us today.
My pleasure.
and our audience, no doubt, has not only been mesmerised by what you've said, but how you've said it. Your accent, your tone, you're almost hypnotic to listen to. So thank you for being a part of our world and for sharing Cusco with us and for sharing yourself with us and for sharing yourself with potentially, when we didn't tell you this, but are you ready? 2.5 million people around. And we've also got you sharing yourself with everybody that's part of our Awaken the Change Within event that's here to share this podcast with you. It's not often we get the luxury of having such an amazing guest, but also having the luxury of having an amazing live audience.
Well, thank you, Amela. That's all I've got to say. Thank you, Amela, as you know.
Now, no doubt, there are going to be people who are listening to the show thinking, oh my goodness, I so need to know more about this man. And if you want to...
Are you married?
Are you married?
I am.
Oh,
Sorry,
boy.
there's no point linking now.
No, we don't. No point giving it. No, okay. So if you want to find out a little bit more about Julián, you can go to travelperutravel.com /
No, not / sorry, it's a link.
Oh, it's a link. Okay, so let's just scrap that. Travelperutravel.com, and then you'll look for a link that says professional guides, and you're looking for Julián Santisteban.
Right.
That's right? I got that right?
Actually, it's Santisteban.
Santisteban.
Right, that's it.
And, if people want to come, to Cusco, then
They must ask.
they must ask for you.
Muy bien. My name is right there on the...
No, they
the
must.
Right.
No, they must, because I think the way that you share the history is you give more in one day than I think we would ever have expected to receive in a month of being here. So, and your passion and your interest and obviously your connection to this life is what makes that so transformative. So I think anybody who, beyond us, gets to share their journey here with you is a very lucky soul. So we really want to make sure, guys, if you are going to come to Machu Picchu, if you are going to come to Cusco, make sure that you look up Julián, and he can be your go-to man like he is for us. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again. Right.
So hopefully you've all absolutely loved today's podcast. We have just had an absolute ball sharing it with you. I think we're all going to go to bed shortly. Nice and late here in Cusco, and we're heading off to Machu Picchu to do the trek tomorrow. So I know you're just a little bit jealous. Wait till you hear where we're going next year. Yes. In a couple of weeks, we're going to make that announcement. So keep your ears peeled, because we have confirmed where we're going, but we're keeping it secret squirrel for right now. But it will be on a podcast, and we're going to reveal everything for you. So if you think you might be interested to come and hang out with us and enjoy experiences that are life-changing, go to allthews.facebook.com / up for a chat. Or you can also go to the wellness couch. Thanks, Kimmy.
Cusco.
Go to allthews.thewellnesscouch.com / up for a chat and post your comments there. So come and hang out with us and join us here next week on Up for a Chat and become part of the ripple effect that is absolutely changing the world, my friend. See you next week, same time, same station. Big love.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com / The Wellness Couch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives. Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.